Hey there, this is Andrew, and I'm bringing you a Keyforge Winds of Exchange house review. Getting close to the end of Winds of Exchange here, and about ready to get started on Grim Reminder soon, so that's kind of fun. This is going to be, we're going to be looking at Star Alliance. And I guess I'll start by saying I think Star Alliance is one of the less strong houses in Winds of Exchange. And so yeah, just overall a little less excited to do this one, but that's okay. There's some really good stuff in here, but I do think they are one of the lower powered houses in the set. One of these days, I'll do a tier list of houses per set, which I think would be pretty fun. Um, but okay, so yeah, I think it's a little less powered. Let's see, what do I if I look if I'm sitting across from an opponent playing Winds of Exchange sealed, and they have Star Alliance in their deck. What do I expect they're going to be able to do? I'm thinking they're going to have some efficiency options like archiving, some cross-house use, maybe some speed, but overall, um, not a ton. It's not going to give them a lot of ways to slow me down necessarily. Not a lot of control, not a ton of amber control. Some amber control depends on what they have. Um, and they might have some good board wipe options, but overall, I don't think it's going to help them a ton with the board control game either. Um, in this set, lots of fun upgrades, which gives some optionality, flexibility to the play, but not a lot of kind of alpha level threats. So, okay. Favorite. If I open this in a deck, what do I want with it? I think it's actually Brobnar because because uh, that crosshouse use really wants to have good things to use, good things to combo with, and Brobnar in Winds of Exchange is very strong. So and has a lot of good board presence, which makes some of those crosshouse use abilities more valuable. Um, yeah, and even some of the token generation stuff, having a Brobnar token is probably going to make me very happy. All right, let's see. Favorite in-set combo has to be Gross and Hings with Cadet. That possibility of firing multiple times per turn is pretty cool. If you can make it happen. Um, and then if I could get any legacy card here, I would want. I think I would say Encounter Suit. Light of the Archons might be a close second, and if I wanted to go for a slightly different option, Matter Maker. I think Matter Maker just deserves to come back and have some more time in play because it's a fun concept that I just think shouldn't have been a rare. It should have been like a one of common. You've probably heard me say that a lot of times before. I really think that card got uh, a short shrift. And then if I could have, it's really tough to talk about a Maverick here because at the end of the day, I just don't think there's enough super strong in Star Alliance to think, okay, I could abuse it if I just had this. Um, so I mean the Make It So Legacy Make It So with Near Future Lens, that could be pretty cool. I've seen some of those Alliance decks, but um, that's not really a Maverick. That's an anomaly. Outside of that, I think I actually had it earlier. I think some sort of uh, just tool like what is it called? Oh, Dragnet. To maybe get a little extra use out of those play abilities could be good. It kind of takes the place of a is it Unity or or together, one of those. Yeah, so like Dragnet could give you the ability to pull creatures back and replay them, which I think could be good. But there's just, again, I think there's not enough really strong in Star Alliance here to make a Maverick able to just abuse stuff. So, yeah, your opinion may be different, and that's okay. I have a couple of great Winds of Exchange decks with Star Alliance, so it's not always under the power curve. I just think as a rule, it's not one of the houses I'm looking for. Okay, let's get to it. So we'll actually start with the combo I mentioned, Gross and Hings. So Hings is a rare, and then you get Gross brought in automatically, and so they're a pair. And this is they're back from Dark Tidings. When you play one, you get to search for the other, and then after Hings, the idea is you want to have them on opposite flanks. And when Hings is the really strong one, when Hings fights or reaps, afterward you draw one card for each creature between them. When Gross fights or reaps, you give a +1 power counter to each creature between them, which that can be good too. But the draw is really what can be extra good, and and that's why I mentioned having Cadet could be cool, because if you get the Cadet, if you're able to put Cadets next to Hings and trigger that repeatedly to get to ready her, you could get quite a lot of draws. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. All right. Next, we have Crash Muldoon, who's a 3-power pilot and human. Oh, I should say the comm officers are humans. Crash Muldoon is a 3-power pilot human with deploy who enters play ready and has action, use a neighboring non-Star Alliance creature. And I actually, we've been listening to the audiobook of the Brandon Sanderson book, Cytonic, and actually I should see when that came out relative to Star Alliance, but there's a character in the book that Chet, who really makes me think of Crash Muldoon or Helmsman Spears, kind of somewhere in between these two characters. All right. And yeah, this can be pretty cool. At the worst case, you get like a free reap because the enters play ready, but getting to use something better than that could be great. So this is a cool card, and works very well with abilities like Transporter Platform, or if you had a Maverick Dragnet to pull him back and get another use. Okay, Cultural Exchange is an action with an amber. It says that your opponent puts each card from their archives into their hand. I don't know. This just seems... This isn't the archive hate we need. Dysania might be too strong, but I think this is too weak comparatively. Because if your opponent has a couple of archives, then I guess this is impactful. If they have a lot of archives, then they just do one of their big turns. I don't think it does enough. If you're against like an auto encoder, they're just going to refill their archives pretty quickly. So I think archives deserves to be punished a little harder if we're going to try to do that. Okay, General Order 24. This is an old one. It's an artifact and law. At the start of each player's turn, they must choose a creature they control and destroy each creature of the chosen creature's house. If that player has no creatures in play, you destroy General Order 24 instead. And ideally, with Star Alliance, you can abuse this a little bit by playing some off-house creatures on your Star Alliance turns if you get the right cards. That's more possible in this set because of tokens, if your token is not Star Alliance. So that's kind of fun. Mass Mutation was pretty good at this too if you had Subject Kirby. It was a little harder in Worlds Collide unless you had, say, Val Jericho. Alright, Hapless Cadet is a 3-power alien with Taunt. When it's destroyed, your opponent loses 3 amber. That's just good. It's just very good. Hold the Line. This one's interesting, and especially interesting in Winds of Exchange in cross-set play, because your opponent may very well have a giant board. So it's an action with an amber. When you play it, if there are more enemy creatures than friendly creatures, you draw cards equal to the difference. That can be really strong. I had it used against me to great effect recently. Didn't enjoy that. Alright, Mirror Shell is an upgrade. It gives a creature after fight or reap for the remainder of the turn. Each friendly token creature is a copy of this creature. And when you play it, you make a token. Yeah, that's an interesting one. The potential for this to be crazy is strong, is really high. In practice, I just haven't seen it do that much. And probably in part because there's not a lot of really easy to abuse Star Alliance creatures. So you really, to get value out of a creature like, I don't even know, like Brick Nasty or something, you need to play this on your Star Alliance turn and then use it later. So I think that's the problem. If there were more super high value Star Alliance creatures, then this would be better. All right, Norbin's Cavern is an artifact and location. This is the Star Alliance rare token putter inner. So it's an artifact and location. It says each friendly Amberling gets +3 power and gains skirmish. So if you have Norbin's Cavern, then you're going to get Amberling as your token. Amberling is a 1 power silicate who can't reap, but you can spend it as if it were amber in your pool, which is really interesting. That's a really fun, interesting effect. You discard it, ignoring wards when you spend it. So you just spend it as amber. It can't reap, but if you have Norbin's Cavern, then it's 4 power with skirmish, which becomes really strong. Theoretically, I think in theory, this was like a cool idea. In practice, I haven't seen decks based on this that were very strong. So, but it's a cool idea. So, not sad that they explored that space a bit. Okay. Operations Officer Ishii is a 4 power spirit with 2 armor and taunt, and each of its neighbors gets after fight, after reap, capture 1. Another returning card here, Plasma Nozzle, is an upgrade with an amber that gives a creature before fight deal 2 damage to the attacked creature with 2 splash. Which is that's a fun, nice board control card. Psionic Officer Lang is a 3 power human that says after an enemy creature reaps, archive the top card of your deck. This is a really cool, strong card. I would have liked to see it be not a rare because it's good. And kind of almost like I would say witch level good. And Star Alliance needs some cards like that. Probably not at rare though. Needs some that are a little more common. Okay, Pupgrade. It seems just okay to me. A 3 power robot that can be played as an upgrade instead of a creature. If you play Pupgrade as an upgrade, then it gives the creature it's attached to +3 power. And destroyed, put Pupgrade on the right flank of your battle line as a creature ready. That's kind of cool. Boost the power of something and then come in ready when that thing's destroyed. It's fine. All right, Quixelstone. This one's fun and interesting. An artifact with an amber and an item. If a player controls more creatures than their opponent, they cannot play creatures. Yeah, so that's an interesting one, and I think it's been in every Star Alliance so far. Yeah, very interesting artifact. Super interesting in WoW because you have ways to make the token creatures that doesn't count as playing a creature. So create some very interesting puzzles in Winds of Exchange. But you really, for this to be good, need to have a deck that does not need to play creatures to win. Recruiting Station is an artifact and location. It has Omni, choose a house, discard the top card of your deck. If it belongs to the chosen house, make a token creature. This one's fine. I mean, there's some value in that, I guess, but getting to make a token 1 out of every 3 turns, I think is just okay. If you have great tokens, then it's better. But compare it to Mark II generator that just makes a token every Mars turn. It's an action, not Omni, but I think that might be a little stronger. Unless maybe you combine it with a card like Future Booster. Okay. Shakedown Sullivan is a 4-power human. After it reaps, you choose a creature and discard the top card of its controller's deck. If that card shares a house with the chosen creature, its controller gains 1. Otherwise, destroy that creature. This can be good, especially if you have like some of the tokens that want to be destroyed. But it's slow. It's not that good. Stronger Together is an action with an amber. You ready each Star Alliance creature that has 2 non-Star Alliance neighbors of different houses. That's so specific and hard to do anything good with. So tough. Techivore Pulpate. Okay, this is some artifact control. It's a 5-power jelly. After a player chooses an active house, destroy each artifact of that house. Can be good. I've since Worlds Collide, I've just never seen this be super good. Temporal Purge is an action with an amber. When you play it, you flip each token creature face up, and you put each non-creature card flipped this way into its owner's discard pile. That's super interesting and kind of cool because it bypasses wards and gets rid of things. You can know whether you have whether you're going to get good value out of this. Maybe you have a lot of tokens that you'd like to flip. It's kind of cool. Obviously, against non-Woe, it's not going to do anything to your opponent, but Woe's good, so you're going to see some Woe. And in set, this is a very interesting card. Okay, the Ulfbert device. I love this card. Have not seen many decks that use it to great effect, but it's a super fun card. It's an artifact, an item. It has an amber. It says each player can't choose the same active house they chose on their previous turn. That's just fun. That's a fun way to play Keyforge, so I like it. Uncharted Lands is an artifact and location. Each Star Alliance creature gains after reap, move 1 amber from Uncharted Lands to your pool. When you play this, you put 6 amber from the common supply onto it. This is fun, and I think this gets better and better as there are more houses in the game, because, you know, if there are 30 houses, which there aren't yet, but if there are 30 houses, then a card like this that can be abused by your opponent only, or can benefit your opponent only if they have the same house as you, becomes marginally better, right? Okay, Badge of Unity. This is a good one. I really like it. It's an upgrade, and it makes this creature belong to Star Alliance in addition to its other houses. Compared to like Experimental Therapy that gives a creature versatile but stuns and exhausts it, this gives you immediate value. I love it. All right, and that we're into uncommons now. And next we'll see Camaraderie. It's an action with an amber. When you play it, you exhaust a friendly Star Alliance creature. If you do, draw 2 cards for each of its non-Star Alliance neighbors. This could be pretty cool. I mean, that's potentially draw 4 cards, but I haven't been able to get good value out of it. Even in a deck I have it in, because a pretty good deck I have it in, because the Star Alliance creatures are just so wimpy. I guess if I had Cadet, I'd have a better chance, but it seems tough. Okay, Collector Borin is a 3-power human. After an upgrade is attached to Collector Borin, you ready him. And when you play him, you put an upgrade from your discard pile into your hand. That's really cool. That's a potential for a really strong, like, rule of 6 combo. I haven't had it work out that way, but but it's a cool idea. Detention Coil is an upgrade with an amber that says this creature cannot fight. Very nice to use on an opponent's creature. FOF Transponder. Now this is a strong card and very interesting. It's an upgrade that gives a creature destroyed, make a token creature, attach FOF Transponder to that creature. That's pretty cool. If you can, take, say, a Berserker, and every time you fight with your Berserker, you're going to get another Berserker. That ends up being pretty strong and, and interesting. All right, Ganymede Outpost is an artifact with an amber. It's a location. You put a friendly creature on the bottom of its owner's deck. If you do, archive 2 cards. That's really strong. I think this is one of the better outposts. Okay, Gruntwork is an action with an amber. When you play it, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck and you put them back in any order. Then you make a token creature. This compared to what's the one where you draw then from wow, how do I not remember that? Anyway, I think that beginning to draw is a little better at the point that you've looked at 3 cards and put them in any order, but this can be good. Nurse Soto is a 3-power human with deploy. After he's played, fights, or reaps, you heal 3 damage from each of his neighbors. This has always disappointed me. Quintrino Warp is an action. When you play it, you choose a friendly creature and an enemy creature. You destroy those creatures and each creature that shares a house with either of them, and then you gain a chain. This is really nice, especially in somewhat mirror matches, and it also can make good use, similar to General Order 24, it can make good use of tokens, where even on a Star Alliance turn, you could potentially generate 1 token from a different house, use that as your target for Quintrino Warp, if that's going to be more effective. So yeah, overall a pretty cool card, I think. And only 1 chain is pretty reasonable. Selective Preservation is an action that says play, choose a creature of each power value, destroy each creature not chosen. Can also be really good. Most of the time you're going to choose your creatures and to save. And so having some different power values available can be really nice with this. Stealthster is a 3-power robot with elusive. It can be played as an upgrade instead, and it gives the creature it's attached to elusive in that case. SV3 Lander is an artifact and vehicle. When you play it, you make a token creature, and then it has Omni destroy the lander, and for the remainder of the turn, you may use friendly token creatures. This can be quite good. Again, I haven't seen it be used super effectively, but it has a high potential to be strong if you had, good tokens. I think probably what holds it back a little bit is just a lot of times other Star Alliance cards are not contributing enough to get a deck over the hump into great if it has SV3 Lander, but I think it has high potential to be a good card. Tactical Officer Moon is a 4-power human with Assault 2, and when you play her, you may rearrange the creatures in a player's battle line. Cool idea that I think rarely does, the amazing thing, but it is a cool idea. All right. Transporter Platform is an artifact with an amber. It's a location. You can action it to return a friendly creature and each upgrade attached to it to their owner's hands. That's really fun. It can be a great amber generator. I haven't seen it be as good in this set as in some other sets, as in Mass Mutation or Worlds Collide. Ideally, you really want to get a lot of enhancement pips on upgrades or a creature that you can use with this, some good play effects, and I just haven't seen it be as good in this set. It is worth noting, though, you can use this to pull back token too, which that could be good if you have a really strong card that gets tokenized. Xeno Training is an action with an amber. For each card, or for each house represented among friendly creatures, a friendly creature captures one. This can be nice, get you out of the bind. Not usually sad to see this card. Probably even better with tokens, to be honest. CR Officer Hawkins is an oldie but goodie, a 2-power human with deploy, and when you play him, you gain 1 amber for each of his non-Star Alliance neighbors. Yeah, that can be quite good, and that is a nice play effect to be able to bounce back to be able to generate amber. Difficult. It's just hard to get this to fire if your opponent is doing strong board control. CXO Tabor is a 3-power alien Kirkzix. After it fights or reaps, you may play or use a non-Star Alliance card this turn. So good, but very witchy and very likely to get killed right away. All right, on to the commons. We have CPO Zytar, who's a 4-power scientist Proximan alien with 1 armor. Zytar is the Star Alliance triple enhancement common creature, so she enhances with damage and 2 draws. That's it, and then is kind of a body on the board. It's fine. It's fine. Echo Reflector is an upgrade with an amber that gives a creature your opponent's keys cost +3. That's a very nice effect. Never sad to see that. I mean, the crazy thing is, on average, this is better than Quadricorder. Plus, it gives an amber. So I think it's a really good card. Friendly Guide is a 3-power alien with elusive, and after you use one of Friendly Guide's neighbors, you may use Friendly Guide. Kind of a cool thing in theory. Rarely seems to have a huge game impact from my experience. All right, Future Booster. This is a fun one. An artifact with an amber, an item, and an Omni ability to look at the top card of your deck, and you may put it on the bottom of your deck. That's a pretty cool ability. Very, especially relevant with tokens, but good even if you're not worrying about tokens. I mean, this is just a good ability. All right, Photon Blast is an action that does 2 damage to a creature with 1 splash. If this damage destroys 1 or more creatures, make a token creature. It's okay. I've rarely seen this be great, but it's fine. Pyro is a 3-power robot with splash attack 3. It can be played as an upgrade and gives what it's attached to splash attack 3. Can be good. It's fine. Recorded History is an action with an amber. When you play it, you reveal up to 3 cards of different houses from your hand, and you archive each card revealed this way. Pretty cool. This is a pretty cool one. It is setting up like a weird at least 2 house archives, but getting to archive 2 cards is good. Up to 3, but probably you're going to archive 2 and play your Star Alliance cards. So, but this can be pretty good. Red Alert is an action. When you play it, if there are more enemy creatures than friendly creatures, you deal damage to each enemy creature equal to the difference. Yeah, this is an important board wipe, especially in the set. Can be quite good. Rogue Operation. Okay, this is a fun one. It's an action that discards the top 2 cards of your deck, and you steal 1 amber for each house represented among the discarded cards. That's a really nice effect. Pretty happy to have that one. Yeah, it's solid. Scout Chief Courageer is but I'll just say, this is a nice amber control card amid not much amber control. All right, Scout Chief Courageer is a 2-power alien Kirkzix with play, fight, reap, make a token creature. That's nice, and probably not going to survive long, but a nice effect. So happy to see Courageer actually. Secure Droid is a 4-power robot with taunt and can be played as an upgrade, giving whatever it's attached to taunt. Usually I'm just going to play it for the taunt because at 4 power, that's a pretty decent taunt. Specialist Guthrak is a 3-power alien hand-to-hand with Skirmish, and after fight or reap, you capture 1 for each house represented among Guthrak and its neighbors. I have seen this be used really well. I have. I think it's tough to get great value out of it, but I have seen it be pretty good. And it's funny, I appreciate the I don't know, I guess he's just so swashbuckling that he gets hearts above his head. I'm not jealous. Okay, Teamwork is an action that when you play it, it'll make a token creature, and if there are more enemy creatures than friendly creatures, then you archive Teamwork. Usually in Winds of Exchange, you're making more creatures than your opponent, so probably it's not going to get archived. Once in a while it does, and then you're sad. All right, Uplink is an upgrade with an Amber. It gives a creature action, make a token creature for each of this creature's non-Starlance neighbors. I've rarely wanted to use this like that because Reap for an Amber versus make 2 tokens, I think it's probably better to Reap for an Amber, and especially if you have any sort of good Reap effect. All right, and lastly, we'll just cover the tokens here. Oh, it's kind of funny. Well, okay, we'll get there. So Cadet, I think this is the really desirable token. Not every deck can make good use of Cadet, but some decks can make very good use of Cadet, and I love that. So Cadet is a 1-power human with Destroyed, ready Cadet's most powerful neighbor. That's a fun effect. That's a fun ability. And you can trigger this outside of your Starlance turn. So one of my favorite weird decks has Cadet along with the buggies, and you can just do some cool stuff with that on an Equidon turn. But again, not every deck can make good use of Cadet, but if you can do it, it's really cool. Then we have Explorer, who's a 2-power alien that says after Reap, look at the top card of your deck. You may discard it. That's fine. This is fine. Not a bad token. Bot is a bad token, who's a 1-power robot that says use a friendly non-Starlance creature. It's just so tough. There's so many ways to kill a 1-power creature, even in set, and then so the chances of this staying alive and being useful are really low, especially if it would be useful. So bummer bot. And then for some reason, that's card 345. Card 346 is Navigator Ollie. Okay, that's kind of weird. But Navigator Ollie is back from, Worlds Collide, and is a 3-power human with Play, Fight, Reap. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck and put them back in any order. That's fun with the token mechanic. I don't know why he's card 346, but it's okay. He's an uncommon. All right, that was Starlance and Winds of Exchange. There's some good stuff in here, so I hate to hate it, but I just think it's a little bit, when you compare it to, like, for example, Brobnar, that just has a lot of great, that can generate more Amber and do more Amber control while doing more board control. I think, or Unfathomable, that just has insane control in this set. I think Starlance is a little under the power curve, and that's okay. All right, so that was Starlance in Winds of Exchange. Hope you enjoyed and that you'll get out there and forge some keys.